Hey everybody, Todd here. I just wanted to let everybody know I hope you're safe and staying healthy. God willing, we'll be through this coronavirus situation soon. In the meantime, we've rolled out a way to still do depositions. We're doing them remotely now via the free Zoom app. Many clients are already seeing the advantages of this because it can be done from anywhere and on any device. I've already done a podcast about it and started a resource library for it at www.toddolivas.com/remote depositions. Check that out or give us a call at 888-566-0253. Okay, on to the podcast, which was recorded prior to the coronavirus pandemic. So please stay safe and enjoy the podcast.
I can answer that, actually. Most people may not be able to. When I was 5 years old, my dad injured his back on the job. My dad has never been able to return to work since. He had 3 surgeries and went paralyzed during his 3rd surgery and had to learn how to walk all over again. My mother was the wife that had to go back to work, and I was one of the 3 children they could barely afford to feed. I just think I was placed in this to give back, because we were the house that the truck dropped off presents during Christmas and food and things like that, so if I can help giving back. I'm a different kind of adjuster. I think I get told I always answer the phone. I have attorneys at the board that say, no, she's really going to answer the phone. No, she's not. And then I do, I use my personality. I don't change my personality for anybody, first of all. If I feel comedic that day, I'll use it in my job, and I think it makes people feel better. Hi, my name is Victoria Erwin, and I work for Keenan and Associates.
So, Ms. Victoria Erwin, thank you so much for appearing on the T.O.A. Storytellers podcast.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And hey, that was a great event this past Saturday night, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, I had so much fun.
You were dressed. I gotta find some pictures. But you were dressed like it was like the 1930s, something with like the little hat
somewhere
and
around
stuff
there,
like. Yeah. Hey, what was the deal with that?
I had just gotten it the Saturday before.
You did?
And so I thought, well, it's kind of a sparkly event and dress up, so I'll go with the hat.
No, it was perfect.
I was the only one there with a hat on, I think.
I think so.
And I got more compliments on that hat.
So if you want to stand out, Rick, then wear a hat. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm already picking up tips and tricks here. No, but it was a great event. And it was a good cause, too.
It was.
Did you already know Angel?
I had met her once before at an event called CEP, Claims Examiner Professionals, in Anaheim. So, really nice lady.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful dress that night, too.
Yes, and such a go-getter. I mean, she is legit.
Yes.
She's going places, and she's creating momentum out of thin air, so go Angel, right?
Right.
Yes.
And she was our first podcast guest, by the way.
Love.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes. So, I was checking out your LinkedIn page.
Okay.
And
it's not real big.
Are you sure?
I've been around for a while.
All right, let me bring it up. So, well, let me just go back, because is there anywhere you haven't been?
Well, yeah. There's companies I wouldn't want to go to.
Good answer. No, but I see Aetna. I see IME Services. I see Firm Solutions, Cambridge, Specialty Risk, Corvell, AIG, CCMSI, then some temping work, and now
Keenan.
My
retirement home.
You know what? Nobody ever leaves Keenan.
I love
We
Keenan.
hear that all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's a great company.
I'm very blessed to be at Keenan.
What is it about the culture there that nobody wants to leave?
You know what? People are very family-like. I remember in my interview mentioning to them that I do stuff on the outside. And I don't normally bring this up in an interview, that I'm a professional Mrs. Claus, but they had just finished telling me about Impact Day, which is something they do every year. It's a couple of days out of the year, and half the employees go on one day and half go on the other day. And we do putting together of furniture or teddy bears or backpacks, all kinds of stuff. So when I heard that in my interview, I knew it was a place I needed to be.
Sold.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
We've been there. We've been there. We've also
Several
attended
Impact Days.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's,
It's
so
amazing.
awesome.
The feeling you get in there is memorable.
Yes, agreed.
So tell me about the Mrs. Santa Claus part. I thought you had me at Miss Santa Claus.
You didn't know that?
I didn't. Did you know, Rick?
It's not on the LinkedIn.
It's not there?
No, I don't have my LinkedIn hooked into my Santa world.
So every Christmas time, what?
I become Mrs. Claus,
Wow.
and I work for events. I do mall. I do the Westminster Mall at Christmas time. I do private parties. My husband's a real bearded Santa Claus.
Okay, so
And he's the chairman of the Fraternal Order of Real Bearded Santas. So in my outside world,
That's huge.
there's a whole Claus world. And I just met somebody today at a store and was going to approach him about becoming one because he had the full beard and everything. And when I introduced myself, he said, "Oh, I'm going to an event tomorrow. Happens to be our event. It's our monthly event that he's going to."
oh
So
my God, small world.
they say people have 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
My family says I am the degree of separation.
The single degree.
There you go.
So there's actually stuff that goes on outside of December for
Yes.
the Claus world.
So I sing. I'm a singer as well. My
course,
name in the Santa world is Diva Claus. I did not name myself. My husband named me many years ago. And I remember when he did,
Yeah.
I told him when we joined into this group in 2005, I said, I don't want to go into this group known as Diva. I don't want people to think that I think I'm better than them. That's not who I am. And he said, no, but you're a singer and the best singer that I personally know. So just go with it. And now people don't know me as Victoria in that world. If somebody asks to speak with Victoria, they go, who is that?
Who is that?
Yeah.
But they know me as Diva. So, so yes, I sing the national anthem for games, and my Santas come down on the field with me when I do that. And
Oh, wow.
My 8th year this year
gosh.
with the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes.
Isn't that the hardest song for people to get right?
For some, I guess.
Can you
Yes.
hit that high note effortlessly?
Yeah, and then I go up another octave. Yes, sir. And there's a couple of guys in this industry that actually saw me do it at the
Really?
Quakes. Yes, last year. Yeah,
Wow.
by accident. I just happened
At
to be
some
there.
point today, would you do that
Sure.
on the mic, and
Sure.
we'll just we'll play at the end as
Sure.
a special
Yeah.
treat
Yeah.
for
Sure.
everybody.
I might be a little shaky, but yeah.
I doubt it.
And talking about shaky, how's the nerves going over there to do the national anthem?
Oh.
You know,
All those people.
I haven't done it for like an Angels game or anything. I've done it for the Ontario Fury and the Lancaster Jethawks, the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, the Storm Stadium. And I have to say, the first time I did it, it was really bad. Actually, it was really good. It was just really slow. And the reason why is because when you're in a stadium like that, there's an echo coming back
I
at
can
you that I
imagine.
was not anticipating. So every time I would sing a line, I'd wait for her to finish the next line. And then I would go back and,
Yeah.
so. But after I finished, my husband said, you just need to speed it up a little next time. And I was like, I
How
know,
slow
it was
was
just
it?
kind of
How
weird.
slow was it?
I don't know. It wasn't too slow. In fact, I go to the...
Oh.
No, it wasn't that slow. It was the space in between.
Oh, I see.
That was good.
Because of hearing... Yeah, very nice.
Thank you.
Because of hearing the echo back. I just kept waiting for her to finish, but it was me actually
Yeah.
echoing back. So, but when I got to the concession stand, my friend was there and she said, hey, my friend just sang the national anthem. She went, that was you? I cried. I
Yeah.
had tears.
Whoa.
And I was like, what? So
Wow.
that
You must have a
started it.
beautiful and
Thank you.
amazing voice, because
I-
that's the hardest
I try.
song known to man, I think, right?
I try.
Okay, we'll get John
Later.
later if you're feeling it. I would love it. Would be honored.
I feel my national anthem every time. It's
So-
our
Yeah.
national anthem, yes.
It is ours.
Yes.
It is ours. That's so cool. You have that amazing otherly world outside of comp and
Yeah, my
claims
Claus
and-
world has been around since 2003. So
How long have you been married?
since 1995, and I have 3 children that are older than that to prove it.
You do the math. Did your husband have the beard when you first married?
Yes, but he wasn't a Santa Claus.
Okay.
No, that happened in 2002.
You didn't realize that was a superpower yet.
He didn't know. In fact, we had a child that was 2 months old when Christmas came one year, and it was the second year we were together. And I bought her all these gifts, and she was
Right.
only 2 months old, and I wrapped them, and I put them under the tree, and he was like, bah, humbug, what? It's a 2-month-old. She's not going to know.
Right.
Really? They got you too. Money, stores, all this, right?
Yeah.
And then it was 2002 when I had him do a charity with me,
Wow.
dressed as Santa Claus with the fake beard, actually.
Okay.
And that started it off. And when we came back out of the home that we went to, just that one home, I said, how do you feel? And I was not Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
But I said, how do you feel? And he said, 10 feet tall, bulletproof, and I could fly off buildings. That was awesome.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And I said, well, we could buy you your own suit and we could do this. We could do
We could just
Yeah, do
be our
Christmas
thing.
caroling, different stuff. And that's when it took off, 2003. So we got him his own outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came, he put it all on. I said, is everything there? He said, I'm missing one thing. I said, what are you missing? I said, looks like everything's there.
Yeah.
He said, I'm missing Mrs. Claus. And
Wow.
I said, yeah, don't look at me. I'm 38 years old. And
Yeah.
that is not me. He went, no, but we can make you look like that.
Uh-huh.
And we did. And she was born that year.
Because it's just a matter of like a little gray beard,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? And some little glasses.
Little glasses. I use white mascara and my eyebrows and eyelashes, so
Oh,
it takes
yeah.
away from me. And I've actually fooled 11, 12-year-olds that know me personally.
Oh, that's so
Wow.
Had no clue.
cool. Wow. So what goes on at those meetings that's in between Christmas? Like
The,
the monthly meetings.
Well, I head up the charity event, which is raffles each month for breast cancer angels.
Oh, that's a good cause.
We had a Santa that passed away about 5 or 6 years ago, and he and his wife only worked for the money for breast cancer angels. They never kept a dime. So when he passed away, we tried to step in as a group to fill at least some of the void of the thousands of dollars that they were getting from him each year. So,
Wow.
and so now I lead those raffles, and we
That's
have
amazing.
meetings about,
Events coming up and plans and
how to
such.
take care of your beard and things like that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
how to not, don't eat in front of people when you're in outfits. I don't know. It's a whole other world for me. So
Oh, for sure.
So fun and such a good cause that you've turned it into. So kudos to you.
it's actually brought me into chalk. I've
Oh,
been
I
there
bet.
for 4 years now,
Yeah.
and through donovansmile.org, they lost their son. Sorry, and I met them. I was blessed to meet them 4 years ago, and so I go to chalk every year, and I go to Kaiser here in Anaheim for the cancer patients. So
Wow. Such a beautiful
not everybody
thing
can
to
do that, by the way.
No.
Always in costume, right? Obviously. And
Oh, I don't have
different-
costumes. They're way too expensive. That's regalia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I always tell my husband, do not call it a costume. That's way too expensive to be
Yeah.
called a costume.
So we call it
But
regalia.
yeah, regalia.
All right.
Yeah.
Regalia.
Yeah.
You got that, Rick?
Yeah, I didn't
Write
know that.
down.
I didn't know that.
Sorry.
Yeah. I noted that for sure.
Hey, so how did you get back to work stuff?
Okay.
How did you get into comp in the first place?
I was hired at Aetna December 19th, 1984. I met a lady in my apartment complex, actually. Her name now is Colleen Hartsock.
Okay.
And she has since moved to another state. But Colleen was in the laundry room, and I was 19 and a half years old and looking to go to work. And my son was a year and a half old at that point. So I met her and said, hey, do you work? And it kind of led me there to become a file clerk at Aetna. And
Wow.
I actually started as a liability file clerk. What in the heck turned me down the work comp route? I'm not sure, other than having a heart and caring about people and needing to do that. So, eventually I switched over and I was the very, very, very first assistant that Aetna ever had.
Really?
It's incredible.
Yes. I piloted the program for about 6 months, just me by myself with 5 adjusters.
Wow.
And
So this is the mid 80s then.
this was 1986 when I became
Okay.
an assistant, yeah.
Wow.
And in 88, I became an adjuster. Did that for about a year and a half and said, yeah, I don't think this is for me. It's a little
Wanna
stressful.
Get off the desk.
So I went into marketing for a medical group. That's IME services.
Okay,
They don't
yeah.
exist anymore.
Yeah. Get you out of the office and going to see clients and stuff. That's a whole other different realm, all right?
Yeah.
You definitely have the personality for it.
It was,
I think so.
I had come out of my shell around that time period. Actually, I was a very shy kid.
You were in a shell when you originally
I was
were
a shy
growing up?
kid.
Really?
my mom and dad come to some of our Santa stuff, and people go, "How did you put up with her all that?" And they go, "We don't even know where that came from. That's not who she was when she was younger."
What was the switch to get you from out of your shell?
I don't really know.
Just maturity, growing up, and things like that.
Probably, yeah.
Because for shy people out there, I always want to know. I feel like I'm shy still.
Same here.
I'm waiting to get. You are?
I feel like you're shy.
Yeah. I feel like,
No,
I feel like you
too.
feel like I'm shy.
I'm shy. You're shy. We're shy.
You guys didn't seem shy when I met you.
No.
What's it been? 7 years ago? 8 years
Yeah.
ago, maybe?
Yeah, it's been a while.
He's definitely not shy, but I am. And
I
John
am.
is not. You know John as well, of
Yes.
course.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, this is not our story. This is your story. Back to you.
Well, I'm
So-
not shy anymore.
No, you're not, and that's great. And so basically, so the marketing role was out and about, going to see clients and.
Yeah, I remember when I first started that job, I went out with the president of the company one day and I went, "Oh my gosh." And this is way pre-computers and internet and all that. We had Thomas guides, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I would print out a Thomas guide page,
Yes.
photocopy it
Yeah.
and highlight my
Highlight it, yeah.
route. And we worked right down the street here in Brea. So, but I would be out in Simi Valley, up in West LA, and the same day, San Bernardino, you never knew where you were going. But I remember when I first started, I said to the president, I'm never going to be able to find my way around out here,
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, it'll come to you. It'll come to you." And then he came out about 3 months later and he said, "Hey, one of you ladies, do you know how to get out to the such and such office?" And I went, "Oh, if you take the 110 out to the blah, blah." And I start telling him, he goes, "Oh, the lady that was a little freaked out about driving
Yeah.
around all over." So it came to me.
Those are the days of having a pager too, right? Did they have?
Yes, and I lived in Anaheim, kind of in the hood, because I couldn't afford a lot back then. So I was a single mom for a while, and I lived in the hood, and so I had this pager, and of course everybody in the hood was like, "Are you a drug dealer?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yes.
why does everybody say that? I mean, pagers are used for other things too.
Right.
So. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I also would get paged by them. The main office was in Phoenix, Arizona. We were housed here, right? And so I would get a page, and if it said 86, that meant rush, call us back now, right?
Okay.
Well, I called back one day. I got off the freeway in, I don't even know what city it was, but I didn't look like I belonged there at the time in my high heels and business suit and
And you're in a phone booth.
at a phone booth, thank you, because we didn't have phones in our cars either. And so I got off the freeway eventually and made that call. And when I called in, the young lady that answered said, "That was a rush." And I went, "So, have you ever been to California?" She said, "No." And I said, "Well, why don't you chat with the president since he's there in your office? Because it just took me 40 minutes to go a quarter of a mile. I could
Wow.
see the off-ramp, but I
Yeah.
wasn't going to go down the side of the freeway and get busted, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, I'm standing at a payphone right now where the other payphone is completely missing and there's graffiti all over. And I just don't look like I belong right here right now. So can you get to the point?
Yeah.
So later I received a call that was apologetic because she said, "I'm sorry. The president told me, yeah, it could take you an hour to go a quarter of a mile."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's very different.
Where was she at?
Phoenix.
Oh, okay. Maybe I missed that part.
No.
No. So, but
Good
that,
job, Rick.
Hey,
Good job, Rick.
pay attention.
That company is no longer around for whatever reason. But then you moved on, and then you went back into.
Well, I worked for them for almost exactly a year, and I felt more like a gopher after a while. And then one of my paychecks didn't show up
Oh no.
on the date it was supposed to.
I hate that.
And when you buy tires ahead of time expecting your check to show, and so it just caused a ball rolling. And so one day the president walked in and he said, "How's it going?" I said, "Not so good. Today's my last day. In fact, I'm packing right now."
Wow.
And he said, "Well, you shouldn't burn your bridges, you're going to give me a 2-week notice, right?" I said, "No, because if I hang out here 2 more weeks, I'm going to be in an insane asylum and my family needs me. So I got to go." I went to work for a chiropractor in between, which then made the workers' comp mind change because I saw what chiropractic did for people and the miracles that happened while I was working there. But while I was working there, IME Services called me, Mr. President called me and asked me to come back.
Really?
So I interviewed with them, yes.
Well, what was the deal with the bounce check and all that, or the missing check?
It was about, well, my check bounced and their check just showed up several
Delayed.
days later. Yeah. But it was just a lot of stuff had built up to there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I ended up going back to work for them. I interviewed with them and went back to work for them. I actually took a cut in pay to do that too, because I knew I had walked out on them previously, you know, and didn't give. And so you burn your bridge, you got to pay, right? 3 months later, I was called in and I was terminated. But I was the 7th out of 7 people in that 3 months that was terminated. So it wasn't me, it was him. And as a matter of fact, my direct boss said, this shouldn't be happening. My direct boss came from Skiff, and he ended up becoming an INA officer out in L.A. So.
So then you went back out and back to the chiropractor or somewhere?
No, 45 minutes after I took that. Interesting part, that same morning, I was out marketing. And I ended up at Associated Claims, which became Firm Solutions with a couple other companies merged together over here in Brea. And I picked up an application. I had no idea that was happening that afternoon, not an inkling at all. But something, my guardian angel apparently knew it. So picked up the application. And so when that happened, I got my car, drove on the street. I'm a single mom. I was in tears. I'm like,
of course.
I looked over at the chair and the seat next to me in the car, and I wiped away the tears, refreshed my makeup, filled out the application, and went back in there. And 45 minutes after I lost that job, I was hired at Associated Claims.
No way.
Wow.
Well, because that morning,
Within the hour.
I found out in my interview that when I went in that morning, I was going around, you know, that was a time when you could go around desk to desk and chat with the adjusters. And so I did. And on my way back out, I was introduced to the president of the office. And he and I chatted for about 20 minutes. And during my interview, I was told, well, I'm just supposed to basically offer you a job when you came back. I was like, what? He said, yeah, I was told you would be coming back and that I was supposed to hire you. So they did.
Who had told him that?
The president of the office.
Oh, wow.
He liked my personality, so yeah.
Wow.
It's
I can see
incredible.
why. You
Yeah.
have a bubbly personality.
I do now.
But you're also like no nonsense too. I get that.
I can
A
be.
little bit no nonsense.
I can
You know what
be.
I mean? But then you also do the right thing, even when it's hard. Like when you went back to, because you felt, I didn't feel like you burned that bridge. If they,
Yeah, it's like
but you decided to go back to them and do the right thing. But then that
took the pay cut.
and take the pay cut. So you take the road less traveled. It sounds like a little bit.
I usually do, I guess.
You do.
I guess.
So then, okay, so you get this job 45 minutes later.
Right. And
You start the same day.
No, they actually said, when would you like to start? And I said, how about Monday? Because I knew that 3 days later was 4th of July and I'd have the holiday pay too. So.
Excellent.
But
Smart.
2-3 weeks after I got hired, no, it was actually the following week after I got hired, I called the president and thanked him for terminating me.
Wow.
And he was surprised. He said, you're thanking me for terminating you? I said, yeah, because I got an $8,000 a year raise every third Friday off and casual day every Friday. 2 weeks vacation first year. Thank you very much. So
What did he say back?
he was
Well,
like,
congratulations.
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Would you like to come back for a third time and cut your pay even more?
No,
Okay.
he actually, his company closed down within about 6 months after that.
Yeah,
So.
something was
Sounds-
problematic
yeah.
there.
By the way, when I went back to work for him, I wanted to know why he wanted me back.
Yes, what was the answer?
Well,
I wanna
because
know.
remember, I have been there for almost exactly a year, but that was June to June. Okay, so July to June. So I pulled out the stats from January to June, my last period of time there, and then I pulled out the stats for the 6 months after I left, and their referrals dropped 50%. And I didn't call one person to tell them don't use them. Nothing.
Yeah.
I just went on my way, right?
Right.
But I figured it out.
He noticed too the dip and then decided, well, we need the Rainmaker back.
Yeah, but then when I interviewed to come back, I said, well, you have to understand that I'm not going to have that full rapport again right now. You know, I mean, I've been gone. So you're going to have to give me 3 to 6 months to get the rapport, 6 to 12 to pull the business in. That's how it works. They were like, oh, okay. But he put me 6 weeks in LA and then moved me 6 weeks to Orange County. And then, like I said, terminated it because the business wasn't coming in. I went, yeah, well, you didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
I told you what would happen.
Yeah.
You didn't give it a chance. So.
Yeah, we know that for sure. I mean, you got to put in the time.
Exactly.
Well, because it's relationship based, and
Exactly.
you can't force those things to go on an accelerated basis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
We're all looking at each other like, yeah,
We
you're
get
right.
it.
I know, you know, we know. Yeah.
Hey, you're smart. You're smart.
Wink, wink,
We're all
nudge,
smart.
nudge. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you're at the new firm.
So
And it's
that
and it goes well.
That was Associated Claims. I was
Associated.
there for over 8 years. It became Firm Solutions in the middle, and they bought Greenfield Thompson and Associates, which doesn't exist, of course, anymore, and Noetics. And when they bought Greenfield, I was halfway between the two offices. I said, if you need somebody in that office, I'll go there. And we were losing the account I was on, so sure enough, they needed somebody to go there, and I was like, thank you, because layoffs could have happened at any moment. So I was just trying to protect at that point. And
How old was your child at that time?
my son was, oh gosh, when I went to Associated Claims, my son was almost 8 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, he had just turned 8 years old. That's
Gotcha,
it.
gotcha.
Yeah, and I had just met my husband.
New kids with the new husband?
I have two daughters also with my husband, and we have 7 grandchildren now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. What a blessing.
It is.
What a family tree.
Unfortunately, some are in Ohio, some are in Georgia, some are in Florida. and
That's always the
you know,
case.
it's like, what?
know.
Yeah, that's spread.
None of you are here.
I
But you don't
know.
have any in California.
No.
Oh.
No. My daughter, my middle child, she moved to Florida last year to meet up with a guy that she knows and knew on gaming online. I know that
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
really weird,
Yeah.
but they ended up getting married, and he already had 2 children, so she
Wow.
didn't really want to have her own children anyway, so he came with the 2 children. So-
Win-win.
Yes, exactly. And it was a bad mom situation back there, child protective involved and everything. And I said, there's a reason you were called there.
Yeah.
You were sent there to save those children, and that's what's happening right now. So
Yeah, definitely.
So where'd you go after that then?
I left there, and
Cambridge. You
I ended up at
Cambridge.
Cambridge because we lost the LAPD account, and they transferred me to Irvine,
really?
and that was from Riverside to Irvine, and I wasn't digging that drive, and
Yeah,
it was
no.
the County of LA claims, and that's even worse. You add that in, it's just not that great. So I ended up at Cambridge on the LAPD. I followed it over.
As an adjuster or
Yes.
okay.
Yes. And I've been an adjuster since 1988, other than the marketing and the
Yeah.
chiropractic in between.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and worked on the LAPD for almost 4 years there. Left there, went to SRS, which again doesn't exist.
Cambridge
anymore.
doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Cambridge
SRS doesn't exist.
You know, it's funny that you should say that, Todd, because
Yeah.
I tease people. I say, look,
It's you.
I worked for Aetna to start with. They don't exist anymore. Well, they exist, but not in workers' comp, because Travelers bought them many years ago, right? I said, so Aetna doesn't exist anymore. Cambridge doesn't exist anymore. Associated Claims Firm Solutions doesn't exist anymore. SRS doesn't exist anymore. AIG better be careful. I'm just teasing. That's a much bigger one to take down.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that's good. That's your line
The
at
good thing
parties,
is-
at cocktail
yeah.
parties, right?
Well,
And the
I've
good thing is you leave the company before it goes down. So it's like,
I do.
You know, so it's not the meanwhile.
My
Keenan is
angel
good.
is really
Yeah.
cool to
Or
me.
she's like the Black Widow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Right. So like
For the
I've,
praying mantis.
I've teased employers
I'm
after
kidding.
that, going, you don't want me to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Trust me. When I
Trust
leave,
me.
everything folds.
Right.
Well, you have a magic power. That's another one of your skills, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, so
Added to this list.
nobody stays in a particular industry or job, I think, as long as you, without finding out some like great or being attracted to something about it. What is it that keeps you doing this?
I can answer that actually. Most people may not be able to. When I was 5 years old, my dad injured his back on the job. My dad has never been able to return to work since. He had 3 surgeries and went paralyzed during his 3rd surgery and had to learn how to walk all over again. My mother was the wife that had to go back to work, and I was one of the 3 children they could barely afford to feed. I just think I was placed in this to give back, because we were the house that the truck dropped off presents during Christmas and food
wow.
and things like that, so if I can help giving back, I'm a different kind of adjuster. I think I get told I always answer the phone. I have attorneys at the board that say, no, she's really going to answer the phone.
Yeah.
No, she's not. And then I do, I use my personality. I don't change my personality for anybody, first of all.
Yeah.
If I feel comedic that day, I'll use it in my job. And I think it makes people feel better.
Of course. And then what better company to work for than to Keenan? I mean, such a company that gives back so much. I mean, again, I've witnessed it with my own eyes, and you're living it. So to give back, you're that truck. You drive
That's
back.
what I think that's why I think that I was placed here, is to give back. So
That's true.
I've asked that question of a bunch of people, and nobody's given an answer like that.
No.
yeah, I know why. I know why mine is.
Yeah.
I know why my life went this direction. It may not always be the funnest job. I try to make it as fun as possible. I get claimants or injured workers that say, wow, none of my prior adjusters were like you, Well, that's because I'm down to earth and I'm not changing that for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I just try not to make any hernia injury people, laugh, because it can be very painful, right?
Yeah.
I've had 2 hernias, so I know all about it.
See,
Yeah.
so I would try not to make you laugh while you're
No, don't make me
healing.
laugh.
I gave my brother a hernia. As a kid, he would pick me up, and he's only a year and a half older than I am. And so he'd carry me all the time, so he got herniated. And so as a little kid, he had to get hernia surgery. It's my fault.
You were too heavy.
Yeah, I was at the time, for sure.
Too funny.
No, but that is an amazing, beautiful, profound answer to
Thank
that
you.
question. I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Thank you for being honest.
I know there's people out there that know that about me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think as many as I might have thought, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that.
So
Try to give back.
So given that, that giving back attitude, and coming from a place where you have felt like, when you were growing up and such, that your family was in a hard place. Your dad was laid up, and your mom then had to fill in the gap. Strangers had to come and...
We had to stay summers with my grandparents.
Wow.
Yeah, because my dad was off. I was born in West Virginia, raised in Ohio. And so my dad would go into West Virginia for his surgeries and be there for, we're talking about the 1970s when...
Right.
Well, couldn't have been, because I was still in my mother's womb. I'm kidding. As I stated, I was 5 years old, and it was 1970. And, we lived in the country. I think Ohio's a whole other country. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, we actually did find out, though, there was no fence around it. We got out. And that's when we headed to California in 1978. But, yeah, we spent time with...
This is your stand-up routine right now?
No,
The material right here.
I've had people over the years say, you should be a stand-up comedian, or
Sure.
you should be a talk show host, or something. And I say, it's easy to have a conversation like this and throw stuff like that in.
Yeah, little zingers.
It's a whole different thing to stand up on a stage in front of people and do stand-up. I know, because my husband tried it once up in Soho, somewhere up there.
Uh-huh.
And it was interesting watching the people do their thing. But the talk show host, maybe. But I think that I was given it to assist me in, 1, my workers' comp position.
Yeah.
And 2, my Mrs. Claus position.
Yes, exactly
It
right.
works out
Yeah.
for both.
You've crafted this amazing life out of it all, out of the hard times have turned into actually superhero blessings for other people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe that's like the whole point of this all, Rick.
Yeah. I know.
Is to give away what we learn and where we've been and stuff that we've gone through, then we can help other people get out of theirs.
I try
What do
to
you think
pay
of that?
forward. I don't know. You try to listen to people. When I'm working with my injured workers, I listen, and I think a lot of times that's all they want or need at that moment. So even if I'm still typing away on the computer, I'm listening, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think that helps a lot.
Does anybody ever say that you're like one of the most compassionate
I have had-
adjusters they've ever dealt with? On the injured side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had that several times,
Mm-hmm.
3-4 times over the years. Keeping in mind that I go way back to the 80s, I remember one time, because back in the 80s we didn't have locking doors, we didn't have badges, we didn't have cubicles. We had rows and rows of desks, and you could walk in the front door right by the receptionist and turn to your right and see all of us, you know. And I forget where I was going with that, but you know, you see different stuff over your years of where was I going
Well,
with that?
but I had mentioned that you're probably one of the most compassionate adjusters people would likely have met, and then you went into that maybe because you could see the different styles that were
Yes, a lot
around
of different
you.
style. There was a guy. He came in because we allowed people to come in and pick up their checks back then.
Yeah.
And you know,
Can you imagine that today?
Yeah, I know.
No.
Now you have
Applicants
security
showing up to get
windows.
their check.
And I will be perfectly honest with you. My husband was one of those bad claimants.
Yeah.
Okay, just kind of irate, but long before I met him.
Yeah, he was Santa Claus. He was delivering gifts.
He didn't know
Yeah.
he was at that time, so yeah. Like I said, he changed considerably. But so I've seen a lot of changes over time, and oh my God, I went off track again.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's all on track. I mean,
The compassion.
the compassion and, you must get a lot of meaning out of what you do then all day, helping people with their claims and their injuries and getting them the help they legitimately, a lot of them, most of them probably need,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they do.
And you've landed at a company that has a lot of compassion too.
Oh, wow.
Keenan is amazing,
Yes.
and
Yes, it's amazing working there. And
that's what we hear.
I work with some of the actual Keenan family, so that's way cool.
yeah, it is.
And another notch on the in the belt or whatever.
Yeah.
But I really, like I said earlier, this is my retirement home. This
Yeah.
is where I'm going to retire from.
Are you able to work from home? Does anybody work from home at Keenan?
I actually do now.
You do now. Okay.
3 weeks. I'm getting ready to go into my.
Is that
third
like
week,
a
I
new
guess.
rollout for them?
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
don't think I've
Because
heard
not that-
anybody
Yeah.
first.
So what's the deal with that?
They piloted a program last year in April and rolled out, I think, 3 adjusters and checked it out for a few months and then rolled out some more. And I was in this last rollout. So,
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would predict that people's productivity would, if not stay exactly where it was, but it would go up because there's no
Yeah.
commute anymore. They're not so tired. They don't need to leave. They're not worried about the home life balance as much. They can just focus and then
And they want to keep their jobs, so they put in sometimes extra
More.
hours. Yeah.
more hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true with you?
I wouldn't say it's extra hours because you don't have that commute. That commute time is now your extra hours, right? So it's not
Yeah.
extra hours. It's just being used more wisely instead
Right,
of behind
true.
a wheel and
Good
wanting
one,
to
yeah.
slam into somebody because
Yeah.
they just cut you
Previously,
off.
what was your what was your commute before this program?
Well, I report to the Torrance office, but my office location where I was housed is San Clemente.
Oh, that one.
It's not a claims office.
Yeah.
And so it was about a half an hour for me
Okay.
each way.
That's what it was. We've been to that San Clemente office a couple times, and one time I think, and it was unlike the rest of the Keenan offices. It was like,
Yeah.
they were surprised and shocked to see us, and we realized
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Yeah, probably before we were even housed there, you went there.
It was
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, it's not something we announce.
Yeah.
I've had injured workers call me and say, well, I just live a couple of blocks from your office, but they think I'm in Torrance. And I'm like, yeah, but we're not allowed to let people in. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Well, because you might want to shoot me.
Yeah.
No, I love you.
It'll be just too
but-
awesome, and you want to
You
stay
just
here and
might.
work here.
Yeah.
Right. And we've had people show up, so it's
Oh,
a
I'm
little
sure.
freaky.
Yeah.
But back in the
Back
80s,
in the olden days,
we didn't have bulletproof
normal.
glass. There wasn't locking
security,
doors.
yeah.
And they pick up in their checks and
So the picking up of the check, there was a guy that came in, and I was not the adjuster. I was the second adjuster on the account when I first became an adjuster. Both of us named Vicky, by the way. I was Vicky Green back then. I was not Victoria Erwin. So people would know me as Vicky Green from that time period. But this guy came in to pick up his check, and it wasn't.
Wasn't ready?
She hadn't requested it or whatever, and so it wasn't like we could just go over to somebody to go type a check, you know?
Yeah.
Even though they did it at a typewriter at that time. Yes, for you young kids, we used those.
Literally
Right,
typing,
yes,
not just hitting keys.
Right. So, and carbon paper, that's why you have CCs now. Anyway, so this guy comes in, and he was 6'8". I'm 5'10".
Wow.
So he was towering over me.
What a little guy.
And
But
angry, yeah.
he was a little irritated,
Yeah.
and he said, "You just don't understand." That is my favorite thing for them to say.
You don't
And
understand.
again, 3 to 4 times over the years, I've had to use it. Really? And I go into, my dad had an injury, 3 back surgeries, paralyzed, learned to walk again. Mother went back to work, 3 children, could barely afford to be fed. Don't ever tell me I don't understand. And I especially appreciate it when it's a back injury that's yelling at me about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, I do.
Did that shut him down?
It did.
Good.
By the time I was done with him, he was 4'8". So, yes.
And then he worked for
Half the
Santa.
man he used to be.
And he worked for Santa afterwards.
right,
elf.
as an elf.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know Santa's going to appreciate
good.
that.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, are your folks still around?
Oh, yes. They live in Hemet. They're
perfect.
75 and 77.
Okay.
And
How's your dad's mobility after all that?
Oh, awesome. He just has never been able to return to work because he just
Okay.
couldn't stand long enough to
Yeah.
work a job, lay down whenever he needed to, sit when he needed to. You know, it was the 70s. So,
Yeah.
and surgeries just weren't what they are now. So, my mom, however, she's also, you know, both of them spry. And my mom is a seamstress.
Oh, wow.
So she makes a bit of the things for me and my husband for our Christmas season,
For the regalia.
for the regalia. But 5 years ago, I also got my brother involved, and he's now a real bearded Santa too. My real brother.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and
That's
so
cool.
she makes things for him too. But then 4 years ago, I said, "Hey, you could make stuff and be a vendor at our annual reunion." And so
Sure.
she's been now to 4 of them, I believe, as a vendor.
Wow.
And her one sewing machine has become 4 or 5 sewing
She's got a
machines
whole
now.
room dedicated to this little workshop.
Full on, full on.
She grew on extra hands.
And yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. And she basically told my husband, because we got her started, you know, in that we had no idea how much she
would
always
love it.
wanted to be doing something like
So
that.
fun.
Wow.
Because he was like, "Don't break your mom," you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Don't give her too much." And I'm like, "Are you
13-hour
kidding? This is her
sweatshop
thing,
hours.
right? This is her thing." And she goes, "No, are you kidding? I wake up at 6:00 in the morning. I'm at my sewing machine by 6:15, 6:30." So
Wow. I have an affinity for sewing machines. And here's why. Because a sewing machine is what we lived on when my mom was a single mom and she had 3 kids. And we just moved from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Santa Ana, California in the mid-70s. And without any employment whatsoever, she set up a sewing machine in our living room. And she placed ads in the penny saver
I remember
for
the
drapes. Because she made custom drapes for people. And lo and behold, people would pick up the penny saver and see her ad, and then they'd order custom drapes, and she would take the order over the phone, and then me and my brothers would help fold and like hold the things,
Yeah.
but she would be sewing all night with Perry Mason on the TV, and it was so freaky. But anyway, so a sewing machine is a business in a box.
yes, yes.
And so I have a special place in my heart for
Very
Singer
nice.
sewing machines.
Very nice. Yeah. I'm
Wow.
proud of my parents.
Oh, you should be, yeah. And Hemet's a great place. Hemet's nice and warm climate, good
Yeah.
retirement place, I guess.
It will be for me someday.
And you'll go there too?
It's preparing. It's prepared
Prepared
for
for
me,
you.
and eventually, yes, that's
Yeah.
where I'll be.
That's cool. You'll leave the beach and go inland to the desert?
Yeah, you know, we used to live in the Inland Empire. Before I went to work for AIG, we were living in Ontario. I've lived in Riverside, and so it wasn't until 2007 when I went to work for AIG that I did that trek for 3 months and went, yeah, that's
Yeah.
not going to happen. So we ended up finding a blessing in Laguna Niguel.
Oh, nice.
And we've been in South Orange County ever since.
I love it down there.
Yeah.
Now we're in RSM. And
So when we left off, though, you were at Cambridge, Specialty Risk turned into that, and then Corvell, and then you now just mentioned AIG.
yeah,
So you've been through the whole alphabet soup of
yeah,
Yeah.
firms.
including CCMSI.
And
There you go.
CCMSI was
That's
after
right.
AIG.
Yeah, yeah. I've been around. It's been 35 years. December 19th was
Wow,
35
congrats.
years.
I think
Thanks.
CCMSI is where I met you.
I
Is that-
believe so. I was
Yes.
thinking about that
In
on the way
Irvine,
over here.
that's
That I believe it was
Yes.
Irvine CCMSI where I
Yes.
met you.
When was it Courtney?
Yeah, Courtney Lewis.
Courtney Lewis used to work there.
Mhm. Loved
Exactly.
my Courtney.
Yeah. Not Courtney Wells.
When I met Courtney, she's a young person. So when I met her, walked up. I don't even remember what was said, but. I said, "Oh, I go by Diva." She goes, "Oh, I'm a diva too." And I said, "Well, I tell you what, since my name's Victoria, I'll go by Queen Diva. You can be Princess Diva."
Oh, nice.
And that's what we call each other, Queen Diva
Nice.
and Princess Diva, and we've been friends ever since. So
Yeah.
she's an interesting character, and I
She is.
love her to death.
And she
She's
can also
awesome.
sing.
She can. I've not heard her sing, but she's
Oh.
a bluesy young lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
A very Janis Joplin voice, I hear.
Oh,
That's
that
what
would
she
be
said, I
nice.
think, right?
Yeah, I've heard her.
You've been there?
Oh, I've
See her
I've
bands?
heard- I haven't. No, but
Oh.
I've seen videos.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't sing Janis Joplin. That's
No.
a little harsh for my style of voice. I sing Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion style.
Oh, wow.
Bette Midler, I don't know, just
Of course.
I have a very wide range. So
Do you like The Rose?
I love The Rose.
a good
Actually, I did a recording
Of
of
The
my
Rose?
own
Uh-huh.
with, I think there's 21 songs on it, with just karaoke disc background music.
Yeah.
But my mom, I wanted to put something together for my mom. My mom's favorite song is Coal Miner's Daughter. She's a Loretta Lynn
Oh, of
fan.
course.
My mom actually looks a lot like Loretta Lynn in her younger days.
Uh-huh.
And so my first song on it, of course, is Coal Miner's Daughter. The second song on it is The Rose.
Wow.
And that's for my aunt because she loves that song. So
I love like that 70s country stuff.
yes,
Country tinged
yes,
pop
Lil
stuff.
Porter Wagner and Conway
Yes.
Twitty. Yeah.
Yes. And Rick has
I'm not familiar.
I know.
I'm not familiar.
He's like, what was that 80s thing you were
Yeah.
talking about earlier? Huh?
Yeah, no.
Well, he was born in the 90s, so
I was born. No, I wasn't. I was born in the 80s. But
What are you, Rick?
but
Close
we're-
to my son's age?
Yeah, but we're Colombian, so we grew up listening to like cumbias, merengues, salsas, and stuff like that. And then my mom also did disco. She was.
Hey, speaking of disco, did you dance at the gala the other night?
Only
I
when
think I
they
saw
did
you
like
out
the
there.
line dancing. Yeah.
I saw, yeah, because
That's-
I remember you out there.
I have no groove in my move, no
Me
beat in
neither,
my
me
feet.
neither.
God gave me a
I know.
voice to sing with. He did not give me any groove in the
Yeah,
move.
you
No.
needed to be on the stage, not on the dance floor.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Although, when my husband and I used to host karaoke and DJ for parties and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
bars and things like that, he was the voice. I'm not the voice on a microphone as a DJ. That's definitely not me. I would get people motivated to sing
Yeah.
or to dance.
Right.
And so I would lead those line dances and stuff. I was losing weight. And at one point, I was like, I
Yeah.
hope I don't have a bad disease or something. I don't know why I'm losing weight all of a sudden. And then it dawned on me I was
Yeah.
doing all this line dancing. I'm like, oh, I got to
Yeah.
keep on
Good.
doing that.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
they started doing Zumba.
Right?
Yeah.
That's back
Yeah.
when it started.
Yeah.
No, but that was fun. I was out there on the dance floor, and there's actually footage of it.
I know. I saw.
Is there?
I saw.
Yeah.
He's good.
I'm horrible. I'm
No, you're great.
So horrible.
You're
But I
great.
was having fun, so I did not
That's
care.
all
how
that
I looked.
matters.
What's that
Yeah.
stupid? Not stupid. What's that you think you're supposed to do? Dance like nobody's watching?
Yeah.
Yeah, I paid attention, and I was
Yeah.
trying to do that.
Go ahead. You just close your eyes and go with it.
I
Yeah.
don't care who's watching.
I got asked a couple times by an applicant attorney. I was like, yeah, I don't really dance. Sorry.
Yeah.
There
But she does. See, she's dancing. Go,
Yeah.
Go join her.
at the gala,
Yeah, at
there
the
was
gala.
there was an applicant's attorney there.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Should I say the name?
If you want.
Daring. Huh?
It's fine.
He's with all the sharks.
I was surprised myself. Yeah.
Wow. Well, somebody brought him, or he had a table.
I
It doesn't
have
matter to me,
No
but-
idea where he sat.
Okay.
No. I was at the Oaks Law Group
Okay.
with Kayla.
Kayla.
Yeah.
Wonderful, Kayla.
I love Kayla.
And Elisa.
Kayla's,
Yeah.
Kayla was on
Kayla's-
this podcast.
Yes, I know. She's the same age as my son.
Yeah.
That made me feel old the other night, but then I was looking so good that I was like, no, I'm not old. It's okay.
No, Kayla's wonderful.
Yeah, she's
That
a
is
sweetie.
cool. She's going to be speaking at our T.O.A. University event coming up.
I am sitting at the table there too.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love me some
She'll-
Bethany.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. they're just killing it over there. They're doing really well. I think they're going to go places.
Well, she's on one of my accounts, so I hadn't worked with her until I took this account a year ago, and
Wow.
I enjoy working
Got
with
to
them.
know her through that. Isn't it
Yeah.
true that she does drive herself, but like during business hours, I think that she has somebody drive her from wherever she's got to go to here and there so that she can keep on being productive instead of...
It wouldn't surprise me. I think it was Dr. Savodnik that used to do that.
Oh, yeah?
And had
Kayla's
a
doing that,
limo
too.
or something drive him from place to place so he could dictate reports and
Yeah.
stuff.
With
Yeah.
Kayla, I don't know what the vehicle is, but I do know that I think I heard that, and it might be a family member or somebody.
A
that-
Bentley.
No.
Let's just
No.
say it. It's a jet. Let's just
say it. It's a Lamborghini. She's in the backseat.
She's in the backseat of Lamborghini.
No, but I just thought that,
That's
man,
funny.
that is like super ingenious of
Yeah,
a way to just
productive.
keep
Yeah.
being productive despite having to go places.
Yeah.
Well, when
Pretty
you're
smart.
the owner of your company, as you know.
Yeah.
I don't have a driver. I'm not that smart, I guess.
Yeah.
Rick?
You drive me crazy.
that counts.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, what is next on the horizon for you? It's early in the year, 2020 right now, right? And you've been in this industry 35 years. And I wouldn't say, that you're anywhere near being
Retired.
Thrown out to pasture.
Yeah. Because you have so
I mean-
much spark and creativity and life and inspiration in you, and you're giving it out everywhere you go. So, like, what's next on the horizon in the next 5-10 years or something for you?
Oh, I'm only looking toward May right now, my Alaskan cruise.
Oh, wow.
Fair enough.
No, I
Yeah,
Keenan
Keenan.
and
Yeah.
making it bigger in my life, I guess, because
Mm-hmm.
it is family. I mean, you're
For sure.
seriously family there, and it's an awesome place to be. So, my retirement home.
How is it that they do that, you think? You mentioned the impact days and stuff like that, but it's a culture there that
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
superseded. Like when John Keenan passed away, it's still there though, right?
Right.
It's inculcated in the culture. How do they do that?
I don't even know. It just happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you just feel it when you
And
start.
then they hire people like you who bring more of it or add to it.
It's
so
like
it's
they feel
it's
that
like this
in the interviews. And,
self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing.
Yeah.
As it grows, it becomes more of that.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
I want to work there.
seriously, it's a great place to work, and
Yeah.
I'll be there till I either die or.
Your face.
Although I don't joke just about that though. I mean, it's serious. There
Yeah.
was the time when the TriStar people were dying off at their desks, but yeah, I told my
I didn't
assistant.
hear about that one.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was a while ago, 2009, I think.
What'd they die of?
Did natural
Exhaustion?
cause, probably from being a workers' comp adjuster all that years. Yeah, I remember telling the assistant that sat in front of me at that time. I said, "Look, somebody died at TriStar at their desk. They didn't find him till the next morning because
No
they
way.
worked really late. Yeah, they were one of those that worked really late."
Oh.
I said, "So here's
Whoa.
the deal, Nicole. If you ever come in the office and you look over the cubicle at any point during the day, actually, if you look over the cubicle and my head is down like this and my fingernails are not in front of it, like me checking them out, please check me for a pulse. And then if there isn't one, make sure somebody contacts my family with the proper paperwork, okay?
Yeah.
Just make sure that's happening."
Yeah.
Are we all good?
So it's,
Wow.
yeah.
That is really sad. That They
Yeah.
died and then nobody was around until the next day or
Yeah.
a couple of days later. What if it was a weekend, right?
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I've gone in on Saturdays before. What if you died at your desk and they found you on Monday morning? Was she really in here?
Yeah.
My grandfather, basically abandoned us in the 70s, right? Abandoned his wife, my grandma. And so, after a certain age, I didn't know whatever happened to him. Some cousins and my brother, I think, one of them, tracked him down like years later, right? And had a tiny little bit of contact with him. And he was living in Reno, Nevada or something like that. Well, he just didn't want anything to do with the family. Well, one day we get a phone call. It must have been from the county or something like that, that they had found him. And he had been living alone because that's how he wanted to be. He wanted to be isolated. So he had been dead for at least 2 weeks before anybody, neighbors, found him, or like a safety check had happened from the police or something. It's just like a sad way to go, right? Isolating yourself down. I don't know how I got into all this.
And they were calling you to tell you, and by the way, you owe.
Right.
Yeah.
For taxes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I have but
you have
been blessed enough in my life with the friends and family type people that I have that I won't be alone when it occurs.
No, you will never be. Yeah, that's a guarantee.
For sure.
I'm not so sure about me, though.
Sometimes you're in here on a Saturday.
My family wouldn't even know I'm gone.
Like, dude, there's a depot going on. Todd, can you handle it?
He's just asleep. Leave him alone.
He doesn't.
He's been asleep for 3 months.
He doesn't return his text messages either.
I'm just kidding. No.
Right.
Zero chance that happening to you. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
Yeah. How'd you meet your husband?
He was working for a roofing company.
Oh, really?
Out of San Diego area. And was living in a motel because of working for the roofing company, and they went place to place to place.
Jobs were far away,
right.
Stuff like that.
So my brother was also working for the roofing company, and they met. And then they came up from San Diego because the company was based out of Orange, and my parents lived in Garden Grove at the time. I had just left my ex-husband about 6 weeks before this.
Oh, wow.
So when I got home that day, I was in marketing, and when I got home that day, went in, and there were these two guys there with my brother and his female companion and my parents, and I'm like, okay, who are these people? And so yeah, the first night that we met, he was actually on his knees asking me out. So
whoa,
yeah, I said no.
You did?
I did.
Did he have the beard? Did he have the beard then?
He did have a beard. It was brown, dark brown.
So he wasn't ready yet.
He had more hair up on top, too.
He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready. Well,
son, you're not ready.
I'll tell you more about that later.
No, but why did you say no?
Because I had
hard
just
to get, I think.
I had just left
6
my
months.
ex-husband about 6 weeks before.
6 weeks.
Yeah, and I had my son, and he was 7, and I'm like, it's just
give it another couple days.
Yeah.
Plus, I was 26 years old. I got married when I was 17. I didn't really get a party life. I didn't get my life that I was supposed to. I got the life I was supposed to have. That's obvious. But there was a change all of a sudden. It's like, no.
You wanted to sow some wild oats a little bit.
So I did. And actually, within a couple of months, I started dating him a little here and there. And I was dating other people. And about 6 months later, I went back and I said, I went out on a blind date. And when that blind date went south, I said, I'm ready to be with just you. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I was never able to do the multiple dating things. I knew I could and I should when I was single, but it always felt like
there's still a chance.
What?
I said there's still a chance.
Still a chance?
Just don't tell your wife.
That's not what I mean.
Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, Victoria's Secret.
Comes in handy.
You told me your name was Vicky Green.
Yeah. It was.
I wrote that down. Vicky Green.
Yes.
There's a Victoria Green at Sedgwick.
Really?
Yeah. And she's been mistaken for me many, many times. And we look nothing alike. It was just my name because I was known in the business because of being in for so long.
Well, we got to get Queen Diva Claus out there a little bit more.
Yes.
As your nickname.
My license plate is We Heart Diva.
We Heart Diva.
Yeah. I think my next one, though, is going to be Diva Heart SC. That way it works for San Clemente, Southern California, and Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah. Multi-level.
Right.
Perfect. Hey, did we miss anything that you've cared to cover on your 35-year journey?
No,
big picture stuff. Little picture stuff.
Big picture stuff is I do so much in my life with both directions and even other stuff that this year I opted to take a year off of being our activities person for our Orange County chapter of the Santas.
Yeah.
Didn't really work for me because, well, I'm the one that knows how to do it, so they
still-
still keep coming to me.
Yeah,
But that's okay.
It's easier just to do it than to train everybody else to do it.
Right, but shortly after I stepped aside on that, even though I really haven't stepped aside, I came across a Santa that I've known for a while, and he graduated from Garden Grove High School, as I did, and Steve Martin did, and Lenny Dykstra did. But anyway, so he saw me and wants me to do, it's the 100th anniversary of the school or whatever coming up in 2021, I believe it is. So he wants me to be on the alumni committee. I'm like,
Of course.
I stepped out of this. I stepped into that,
I know.
really, So it looks like that's probably going to happen now.
Well, it's because you're a leader.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I guess, in my own way. I'm a little crabby when I'm a leader, too, just so you know. I can be a little irritable with it, but, gets it done.
But you know how to organize well, too, so that helps
Yeah.
big time.
We do a reunion every year with our Santas in January, the last full weekend in January. And in 2017, I actually, well, for several of the last several years, I have helped put those reunions together. The most interesting one was taking it on a cruise out onto the ocean and trying to figure out how we were going to do that. So we did.
What's the youngest age of any of the Santa Clauses? In order to qualify for that, you gotta have a certain look, right?
You have to have a real beard, and you have to have used it to portray Santa.
Well, because Rick has a beard right now.
Right.
It's red, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wrong
Actually,
color.
Rick, because yours is red, you'll probably end up with a white beard someday.
Yes.
Yeah, because redheads tend to go very white.
So come
Now,
back then, son.
There's a chance.
Yeah, I'm going white, but not as white as I would like to, and I wish it would just do it overnight so that I don't have to wear wigs. But yeah. But we have one in our group, and
How old is he?
he's 45-ish.
How big is the beard got to be?
He's let it grow out over the years. He started out as a designer beard Santa. But anyway, he's let it grow out. And but my only issue with him, and I'm not a small girl, we can see this, but he's very large. And so I'm on
perfect.
him. I'm on, yes, but no.
Oh, really? You don't want him too big?
The waist is the worst place that you could have it. It'll kill your heart really, really fast, And so I'm on him. I'm like, you can stuff. You can use a padding, They make the fake bellies, and some of the Santas use them, but my concern is more for his health, And so almost every time I see him, I mention it to him because I'm like, Casey, this is where you gotta bring it down, or you're not gonna be with us very long,
Right.
Wow.
And that's what happens in my realm outside, is we're all large people for the most part.
Hey, would you honor us with a song, a cappella?
You want the national anthem?
I would love the national anthem. But first, Vicky Green, a.k.a. Queen Diva Claus, a.k.a. Victoria Erwin. What's your real name?
Would the real Victoria Erwin please stand up?
Please stand up. You've been a great guest.
Thank you.
I so am honored and grateful that you came on here and joined us.
That's my
Rick's
pleasure.
taking selfies.
Well,
There's
at the North Pole, we call those Elfies.
Little Elfies.
There you go.
Thanks, Elfie. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well,
There was a time I wouldn't have wanted you to take my picture.
No, you look amazing.
Yeah, but the last 13 years, that's all I do.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so whenever you are feeling it.
Oh yeah, let's do this.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you. And play ball.
I had to record it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
I got chills.
Yeah, and your voice sounds so different when you sing too. I think that was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming
you.
on the T.O.A. Storytellers podcast.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Todd. I just want to let you know this T.O.A. Storytellers podcast episode is sponsored by my company, Todd, Olivas and Associates. We've been supplying court reporters for depositions since 2003. If you're an attorney and need a reporter anywhere in California, we've got you covered. We're on a lot of preferred vendor panels already, but if we're not on the ones you have, usually a simple inquiry from you to your TPA or employer does the trick. Or if you work at a TPA or employer, please ask your defense attorneys to give us a try on one of your files. We've been known to treat our clients like family, and we would love a chance to work with you next. To schedule a deposition, simply call 888-566-0253 or visit www.toddolivas.com. That's www.toddolivas.com. Thank you, and hopefully we'll see you at your next deposition.